streaming. Hello. Right, let's wait for everything to come. Hello. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Yes, yes, people. What is going down? We are live and direct on YouTube. Before we do get into this stream, I want to apologise about a stream I did a couple of days ago. It was called Making a Tune Live, and little did I not even realise that the microphone wasn't even on. It was turned on, but it wasn't. OBS wasn't picking it up. So sadly, I had to I did the whole stream, and I was talking about what I'm gonna do with the track and stuff like that, and there just was no sound coming through. So I do apologise about that. Yeah, but I've checked this time. We've got audio, we've got sound. So, what we're going to do in today's stream is I'm going to take you over myself and the Layman's tune, Another Night. So we've just released this today for free download, and the radio edit came up on YouTube a couple of days ago. And I thought I'd just take you through the project and just a little bit about some of the things we've done in this tune, and sort of how we've sort of put our remix together. So, a little bit of a backstory to this tune. Originally, I only had this piano that you'll hear just here. So you hear that there. And I had no Another Night vocals. So originally I used The Gossip, Standing in the Way of Control, and I did a mashup. And the mashup actually sounded quite decent. It was actually alright. So myself and the Layman, we began sort of constructing this mashup together. I pitched the idea to him. He said, yeah, let's do it. I quite like, the sound and the vibe of it. And then a little bit later down the line, I came across a website. I actually paid for a VIP subscription. Not a subscription, it's like you pay it once and then that's it. You're on this website for life, and you can log in and you can download stems and things. And I found some stems for Real McCoy Another Night, and there was a re-sung vocal in the pack. So I instantly pitched it back to the Layman, and I said, look, we've got to do this with the original vocals, because that, in all fairness, was my original idea. I wanted to originally do Another Night, not a mashup. I only, like I say, did the mashup when there wasn't really any, when there wasn't any vocals available for Another Night, or when I couldn't find a vocal for it. So like I say, we got the vocal eventually, and we began pitching this remix together. And then we came to another little barrier. I don't want to say it's a barrier as such, but what I will sort of say is that essentially, cut the story short, the vocals we got for Another Night only included the the singing vocals. There's a guy obviously in Another Night that does a rap, obviously. So there was no other guy doing a rap in these vocals. So I said, Lee, why don't you learn these bars? Why don't you spit them? And that's, as you can see over here and down here, that is where the rap came into place, the vocals came in. So Lee decided that he was going to actually do the rap for the tune itself. And the rap itself is just a real key part of what makes this track feel like a homemade creation. You know what? We're adding our hints and glints. We're adding our touch to it. You know, a lot of other people would have thought that there's no rap vocals available. You know, there's nothing else we can do. Whereas we think, well, you know, we've got the power to try and rap these vocals ourselves and, you know, give them a go. So that's obviously what myself and the layman did. I originally spat the vocals just to see what it would sound like, spitting our own sort of like rhymes and then putting them into an FL Studio project. And then Lee obviously came in with a proper condenser microphone and took the actual vocals, you know, and redid them and gave them his own little feel and twist to them. We've gone for a donk tune, obviously, you know, I've said in previous streams. I'm really well sort of into my donk at the moment. You know, it's the sort of path that it's not the only path I'm going down. You know, I like all different types of music, but as far as like the DJing side of things goes, and I am enjoying this sort of bounce vibe at the moment. So we took it on a little bit of a bounce vibe, and at the time there wasn't really many bounce remixes of this tune. And since mine has sort of come to light, I mean, we didn't really say too much about ours, but a couple of versions of this tune, for some reason, have come to light, some bounce versions. The only other version that I could find was, again, it was a mashup of Another Night, and it just used the piano and not the vocals, and then all of a sudden one came up on Acceleration Digital by a producer called Smokey, and then there was another version that come onto This Is Bounce UK not too long ago. By this point our album cover was out. We'd more or less finished the track and we announced it, you know, it was coming. So it was a little bit like, oh, he's done another version. And then someone else, Martin Brennan, has also tackled a version of this tune, who apparently started the project about a year ago, and we inspired him to go back to it. So, you know, I guess you know, exciting and good that we've inspired him. But I really, at first, thought, you know, not many people are tackling this tune. But none of them have put a rap version. You know, they haven't put the rap vocals in, which again is why I sort of enjoy this version, because it has that homemade feel that we've added our own sort of vocals in it as well, which is really good. So the tune itself, like I say, it's a bounce tune, but it's just got an uplifting feel. There's no, like, what I'd say, like, heavy drop or anything in it. It's just a normal, everyday, you know, happy, sort of clublandy, clubby, sort of bounce tune, that just has a really good feel to it. You know, it's just got a nice donk bass to it. It's not too heavy, it's not too light at the same time, and it just gives it that sort of, you know, it just gets you in the moment. You know, you kind of want to sing it, you kind of want to have a little dance and a boogie, that kind of thing. We added our own little sort of like breakbeat section here. It was just a kick, essentially, and I just went, I just essentially did that. And just sort of like sort of like looped it a little bit, like chopped up our kicks essentially, and just did it here, look, and then just did that. So like, and then we just essentially doubled up on the kick there to make it just come in a little bit louder and a bit punchier. As it's almost like you know, you're banging on something, just in the background. We got these sounds here, that you hear in Another Night as well, which is. So we have that in there just as a little bit of a background noise. The second breakdown, we put a crowd in, so it was almost like, you know, you're deep into the song at this point. You know, you've gone past the first drop, you've come back into that second breakdown, and the crowd is just screaming at you, giving you that feeling. You know, it's just screaming right at you, and you know, just everyone's having a good time at this point, which is a really good feeling as well. So yeah. On the intro, so obviously here you've got the first 16 bars, which is just your normal kick and bass, and then obviously you've got this donk that comes in. I took part of the Layman's Rap section. I talk to you, and we've called it the Talk to You remix, and we've kind of looped this over the intro as well, to give it our own sort of little feel to it. The donk itself, there's 8 bars of just the straight donk, so the straight like that, and then after the 8 bars it goes into the full donk pattern and goes. So it's actually quite hard to so it's like, well, you can hear it anyway, can't you? But if I just go here, look. And then I've made some smaller donk notes here to give it that little, so it gives it that little stutter, so it goes like did it instead of do, it goes did it. And yeah, it just gives it a little bit of a different feel, just as to having opposed to having this straight bass intro all the way through. And there is other donk tracks that I've heard where after the first 8 bars, when the bass comes in, they do change it up and they do bring this pattern in. Some donks go straight into a pattern, and sometimes you can get away with it and it'll work, and other times it'll just sound like there's a little bit of a clash on the bass, because obviously the notes are changing. So when you've got the 2 basses double dropping, it's almost like one bass goes out of key, because obviously the key and the note is changing. But sometimes you can get away with it, and it will work. But as a case on this song, it actually doesn't sound too bad. And I like sort of changing it here on the after the 8 bars, because you're coming into that tune. Because until sort of here, there isn't really, apart from this little piano here, that we've just little chopped piano that we've just. There's no real indication of, you don't get that sort of, oh yeah, it's another night, it's just, it's a kick and, it's a kick and claps and hats. So then you've got this bass that comes in, you've got the vocals, and then instantly, you think another night's coming in. And then obviously you get to hear, and it's. I talk to you. Do you know what I mean? And then instantly on the breakdown, you're into that piano that just sounds absolutely phenomenal. The sound on it just gives you a real uplifting feel. I love the piano sound. I would not change it for the world. It sounds so good. We added a little sub bass in as well, just here. And it just gave it a little bit more feel to it as well. And then, of course, like I said, these background noises. And what I tried to do in the first breakdown is I tried to sort of recreate how the normal sort of 90s version of Another Night would be. So you'd have the piano. The only thing I suppose that would be missing is the because there's no ha in these vocals. And then over here we put a little sound in just here, so after the vocals the piano finishes and it goes into I suppose in the original version there's like a sound that goes do 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 do. I just to be honest, I'll be completely truthful, I completely forgot about that sound. And then I heard someone else put it in their version, and when you're thinking at first, like, I thought it was out of a different 90s song. for whatever reason. And then when I played the original, I realised that sound was in there. But in all fairness, the fact that ours doesn't have it, it doesn't make the track any worse. Our version is still a good version. But obviously, the track is done now, and I suppose if I was to go, if say if I was got the chance to do this again, I would probably add that sound in, just because it probably would sound quite good. But all in all, the tune is an absolute, I love it. I just, I'm so proud of what me and the Layman have accomplished with this tune. And, I'm an up-and-coming producer. I've not been producing, all that long. Not sort of really going into it like I am now. When I first started, it was just a bit of fun, see what sounds I can put in, just see what I can come up with. Whereas now it's like, remixing a tune and sort of trying to do the best we can with it, and, making sure everything's right. I think I first started this project when it was originally going to be the mashup. I think I first started it probably all the way back sort of maybe March, April. I can't fully remember. It might have been a bit later than that. All I know is I got a new sample pack. It was a Critical Mass sample pack, and all I know is I just began doing some cool things, and then this tune obviously just became what it is now. It's by far the most favorite, my most favorite tune I've ever done. Since producing like rave music, if you like. Obviously I did the Hypersonic Baby I'll Let You Know. That was a banging D&B tune. But as much as I do like and love me D&B, I've always been like a club sort of like Clubland, sort of like a dance music kind of guy. So like hardcore and like bounce and hard house and house, they've always been my main sort of go-to genres. So being able to make a tune and being able to remix a classic, it's one of my all-time favorite 90s tunes. It's just a really good solid 90s track, to start with. I've heard it so many times, and when you just don't get bored of it. I had a Ministry of Sound 90s CD, and it was something like the third or the fourth track on the album, and I used to love it. It used to come in, and that little piano at the beginning just gave me goosebumps, and then when I re-put it into FL Studio, it was giving me such a buzz. It was just a real, and this is why I love producing. It's one of my most favourite pastimes now, alongside DJing, is to come onto FL, because it allows you to just create sounds, and the fact that we've taken a 90s tune and we've donked it up, and we've made this like sort of like modern sort of like rave clubby version of it, as opposed to that sort of like commercial 90s Euro dance tune. It's just amazing, you can come in and you can take these sounds and you can remix them, and you can put your own twist on songs that you love, and it's just a real good thing to see, a real good thing to be able to do. Also in the tune, we've got fill effects and like sweep ups and kick effects, like. So that's obviously there as well. A build-up, which is from a Rewired Records sample pack. I don't actually mind this build-up. It's all right. I have used it in tunes before, but we only just sort of really put it in the background here, because the sweep-ups was doing the main, sort of like, the main sort of what we wanted. But this sort of here was just kind of, so when you play it, you do hear it, but you don't mega hear it. It's not like the loudest sound out of the section. The sweep ups are kicking in more, but this is just sort of in the background, or to complement it. So whereas in other tunes where I have used that build up, I've kind of more put it at the forefront, so it is like the main sound. But like I say, I just think personally it fits well in this tune. And like I say, the track itself is just absolutely fantastic. I absolutely love it. It's just, there's so much work that's gone into it, and so many different little sounds, and you think sort of like, you listen to a tune and you think, what's actually in this tune? Apart from kicks, bass, vocals, claps, and hi-hats and snares. And then you really, until you actually produce a song yourself and you start learning it and you start picking up techniques, it's then when you realize how much different sounds and how many different things go into a tune, and how sometimes adding so many just little things, like for example here, is a really good example. So just where it's gonna, just before that bass is gonna come in, we've like chopped up the kick. So if I just take it here, so we've done this. So it goes do 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 do. So if I like that, and just say for example, if that wasn't there and it just went, although that does sound good, it sounds so flat. And then when you add the kick there, and then you've got that, do you see how it just makes it sound so much better? And sometimes, a tune can sound flat and you think, how does it sound flat? And then you add these little things, and it's just, it's just surprising how just adding these little things can make a tune just sound so good. And like I say, you think, how can this sound any better? How can we get this to sound any better? And then boom, you add something so little and effective, and it jumps and makes the tune just already 10 times better, which is really good. Got some crashes as well, and some reverse crashes. The vocal itself, see if it'll play on its own.
Another night, another dream, but always new. It's like a vision of love that seems to be true. Another night, another.
So it was a really nice, clean vocal. That's one thing I will say. And although it was re-sung, I just thought, it actually sounds all right. And I just love it. One of my most favourite parts of the tune is just after the layman spat his first verse, so he spits his first verse. And then it comes into this chorus here, and this is, you've got everything now. So you've got the donks, you've got the piano, you've got the kicks, you've got that little sound in the background, and just essentially everything just comes in. So if you listen here, look. Well, actually, the piano's not gonna play. The piano won't play. We've been streaming for over 20 minutes, I believe. Let's have a look. Have we been streaming? How long? Let's have a. Yeah, we've been streaming for 23 minutes. I'll let you into a secret, little secret. So when we very first started this tune, not long after we'd got into the tune, me being me, I thought I had a crack for the Korg M1 plugin, and I thought I'd cracked it, and we had this real beautiful piano. Anyway, cut the story short, turns out it was only on a trial. The plugin trial expired, so it was back to FL keys for me, and I thought, gutting. A friend of mine sent me a link, and it opened, it had some VSTs in it. The Korg M1 was amongst it. I thought, I've got to get that back. Love the Korg M1 for piano sounds. So I got it back, and essentially got it installed and working. And it does work. However, The demo period has ended. Thank you for trying our product. And then it gives you a link to buy it. But actually, we haven't expired. So the plugin itself hasn't actually expired. So unfortunately, the only annoying thing about this plugin is every 20 minutes you've got to reopen the project. So if once you reopen the project, you can just essentially give yourself another 20 minutes. So you're getting like unlimited 20 minutes essentially. But after 20 minutes, the piano sound will just turn itself off. And all you've got to do is reopen the project and then just select the sound that you had. And then essentially, the Korg M1, you get all the sounds, you get all the features. You can save projects, and it'll save it with the sound as well, which is a really good thing. So that's obviously amazing. The only, like I say, annoying thing is you've got to reopen your project file every 20 minutes, like if you're on it for a while, or sometimes if you're working on certain parts of a song, you don't need to have the piano sound there. And then you don't have to instantly reopen the project after 20 minutes. But essentially, if you want to hear the sound again, you've got to reopen the project. I don't know if there's a way I can stop this if I haven't like fully cracked it right. But at the moment, it's giving me like the full thing for free. It's just like I say, I've got to switch and reopen the project every 20 minutes. But that's all I know at the moment. I don't know if there's another way, like I say. But anyway, to cut the story short, we've got the plugin, which is amazing. So yeah, like I say, the tune itself is just an absolute. Like I say, I love the song. I love it. I just absolutely love it. It's amazing. Like I say, myself and the Layman, we've created this. So if you go over to Layman Productions, go on the YouTube channel. It's the latest video on there, and you can check this tune out for yourself. Listen to the radio edit, and if you go in the description and you are a DJ yourself, you can grab yourself a free copy of this tune. Why is it free? Why have we not like released it? Well, first off, we haven't got clearance of the tune itself. The vocals are resung, the rap is redone. So I'm guessing we could, in some sense, have released it if we really wanted to. But I'm an up-and-coming producer, and I think that there's a lot to learn. And I'd rather put a tune out for free, and just get people's feedbacks and where we're going wrong, where can we go right. Rather than putting something out that might sound terrible, which I think this sounds decent. We've done really well, but people who have been at it for years producing, they'll maybe listen to this and they'll find things that maybe aren't necessarily right with it, or something that they would have done differently, or something that they just think makes the song not sound as good. And I'd rather sort of put a tune out, like I say, where people can give us our thoughts and our feedback, rather than putting it out on a store and then people just not buying it because there's things wrong with it. It's all about trial and error, and we're learning. We're up and coming, so we'll do free downloads, we'll give back to the community. And we'll just get creating some bangers for people that they can have for free. Because also buying tunes is quite expensive as well. And also why buy our tune when they could buy someone else's tune that is absolutely banging. And even better put together. Someone who's experienced even more. When they could buy that tune, but then they could have ours for free as well. Do you know what I mean? And it just gives people a chance to give us feedback, play around, tell us what they think, and all the rest of it. And that's why it's so good. So this track is now finished. It's out for free download. It's done. We play it in sets. Do whatever you want to do with it. And you might be questioning like what's next for Noble and the Layman. And I can't tell you what's next because I'd have to kill you if I did. But all I'm gonna say is there's two tunes that we're working on at the moment. One of them is a bit more further progressed than the other one. But all I'm gonna say is they're both absolute belters, and I can't wait for myself and the Layman to fully get stuck into them either. We're gonna absolutely fully get stuck into them, and we're actually sorting another version of FL Studio out this week for the Layman himself, so he can hop on at home, and we're gonna do some video calls and go through some tunes. So won't always be a case of just waiting for the Layman to come round here again. And also he can work on tune, on the projects as well. Say if I'm at work maybe one day, and he's just sat at home and he's got a bit of free time, and he can hop on and he can go over a project, and he can just sort of add a little bit of input and have a little bit of a play around, and it'll be good. We can get stuck into some more of our projects. All I'm gonna say is big things are gonna be coming, so just keep an eye out, or better still, keep both eyes out. My granddad sort of told me that joke, or that sort of like saying, if you like. He always has these little like I want to say daft sayings. Like they're not, they are daft, but if you really think about the logic behind them, like some of them do make sense. Keep an eye out, or better still, keep both eyes out. Like, it would be better keeping both eyes out on something than just one eye. Do you know what I mean? But if you just sort of almost like use them as like comebacks and sayings, they can come across quite funny. I will tell you one funny story. So my granddad told me a saying. Sit down and take a weight off your mind. And it's just an old saying. It's just an old joke. It's nothing. There's no intentions regarding it. It's just, it's just sit down. Sit down and take the weight off your mind. You're not stood up and all this weight on you. You sit down. So he's told me this saying for ages, and I was at my Glow With It gig. We'd come outside to get some air, myself and the Layman, and there's quite one or two people outside just having a smoke and stuff, and just catching the fresh air. I'm sat down on a little bench, and a woman who I wasn't really taking any notice of just says, can I, do you mind if I sit here? I wasn't even really looking at her. I just saw Summit come and sit down just out the corner of my eye. So maybe I'd just pull out one of my granddad's sayings and go, sit down and take a weight off your mind. It turns out she was actually like a real big fat person, and she didn't see it as a joke, as how I'd said it. She thought I was making fun of her being fat, and she was actually about to lamp me one. And then luckily the Layman knew that I was only having a joke around. It was a granddad joke. But it was that second then I could have got lamped. And luckily the Layman kind of saved my day and sort of like stopped it before it happened. And it just shows that sometimes you do have to think before you speak, because like I say, I just thought granddad saying, I never thought of it in any other like offensive way to a fat person. And I suppose it is in a way, isn't it? Say it to someone fat, like sit down and take the weight off your mind. But yeah, he's got loads of little jokes and little sayings. Like there's a saying that people say, like I don't know if it's a little bit of a like and you just go, oh, I don't know, Ben. I don't know. I don't know, Ben. You know, you just sort of say it like, I don't know, and then you say someone's name, and then and then he'll always answer back and go, well, you do know Ben, telling me you don't know Ben. Of course you know who Ben is. You know what I mean? It always makes me laugh because he'll say it. Or sometimes he'll say, no, I don't know Ben either. You know? But it's just, you know, like, it's a bit, like a bit, you say it like when you're fed up, like, oh, I don't know what's off to happen. Like, I don't know, Ben. You know, like, you know, just one of them, innit? You know, you do, I don't know. So that's another one. Quite a funny one. And then there's Are You Alright? And then just down one side, or some people go, actually half left, apart from the bit in the middle. So that's another analogy as well. Another one is first time I've seen you this month. So if you see someone for the first time I've seen you this month. If I don't see you through the week, I'll see you through the window. That was obviously a big famous one on the telly and stuff. But yeah, there's quite a few. I'm fed up of all this sex on television. It's so uncomfy. You know, meaning like literally having sex with somebody on top of a TV. It's uncomfy compared to a bed, isn't it? So it's a rock hard telly. You know, but the way you say it, like, I'm fed up of all this sex on telly, like this, like you're watching sex on the TV. You know, so it's crazy. It really is crazy. He's got a few of them. But there you go. Anyway, that is going to do it for this stream. So make sure to leave a like, make sure to leave a comment, subscribe, share, all the rest of it. Hopefully you do enjoy the track. Go give it a free download. Give us some downloads, most definitely. And like I say, we shall see you next time.